So here's another video about how to prepare the hands for more movement. So this is a movement preparation video, and you can use this video as a way to also resolve pliability issues in the fingers, hands, or wrists. Work along with me, it's fairly simple. You'll come into a quadruped position with fingers really wide, hands on the ground, and fingers pointed forward to begin with. So my fingers are pointing away from me. So as wide as you can get those fingers. In a quadruped positions, your toes can be tucked under flexed foot, or your plantar surfaces of your foot can be on the ground, whatever is comfortable for you. Then we're going to start by just moving in what we call o'clocks. So we shift our body over to 9 o'clock, and then shift our body forward to 12 o'clock, and then shift our body, well, in this case to my right, to 3 o'clock. And then we rest for a moment in 6 o'clock. So just explore those different positions and anything in between that you want, trying to find where you need more pliability in your wrists and hands and fingers. And then, of course, reverse the direction. And after a few repetitions in each direction, we can then take a rest, and we'll come into this wrist rest position. So this is where our wrists are touching in this way with fingers splayed, just to sort of decompress that carpal tunnel. Okay, so now let's go back into our quadruped position. But this time, our fingers are going to be pointing outward. And then it's the same movement. So we go to our 9 o'clock position, our 12 o'clock position, our 3 o'clock position. And in this 6 o'clock position, you might actually get some interesting sensations in the relationship between the pinky side of your hand and your arm here, the ulna. So just move around. And your hands are not too far from each other here, so they're kind of directly under your shoulders. And then, of course, the other direction. So each position, it's tempting to let the thumbs kind of bend. So keep them as extended as you possibly can. Great. Okay, so now come into your wrist rest position. So wrists touching, fingers splayed. And for the next part, you're going to turn your hands back, or your fingers back towards you. Remember, hands are not too wide, they're directly under your shoulders, and that may be a lot. So if that's too much, you can move your knees a little closer to your hands. But if you can handle a quadruped position and that strong extension in the wrist, we'll do the same thing. So this time it's 12 o'clock, that's a little easier. It used to be 6 o'clock, but when we go back to 6 o'clock, that puts a lot of extension into the wrists. So work within your pain tolerance, find what's comfortable for you, and move in these different circular positions here. Trying one way and then the other. Great. Peel your hands off the ground, because that's a strong one. Come into your wrist rest position. Now, let's get a little bit more specific with the fingers. So here, we'll take the thumb, and we will, so I've got my right hand, and I'm going to take my left thumb, and I'm going to gently pull that thumb back toward the arm. And then I'll do the same thing with my pointer finger, pulling it back toward the arm. Be very gentle with yourself. This is strong stuff. Now, I like to match finger to finger while I do this. I think that's an interesting sensation, and I find that it's actually the most helpful way to stretch the fingers here. Moving through each finger, pulling it back toward the forearm. Okay, and then try it on the other hand. So thumb to thumb, and you notice how I've got my fingers wrapped around my forearm here. Everybody's got a different ability to stretch these tissues, so don't compare yourself. Maybe you have more, go for it. Maybe you have less, don't push it. Matching finger to finger and pulling your fingers back toward the forearms here. Pinky to pinky. Okay, and that is some movement preparation work for the fingers, hands, and wrist. Enjoy that.